And in order to understand this, you have to understand a little bit about the emotional system in the brain. There are two major emotional pathways that go past a part of the brain that's deep in the brain. And one of them uses the neurotransmitter dopamine. The other uses norepinephrine. Dopamine is the positive pathway. Norepinephrine has the negative pathway. And there are parts of the brain along these pathways. For the positive one, there are parts of the brain which, when stimulated, make you feel a sense of happiness or joy or satisfaction or awe. Okay? On the negative part, there's a part of the brain that makes you feel anger, fear, anxiety, disgust. Okay? Those are the negative ones. So there's a negative satisfaction, positive dissatisfaction in some way. Okay. Now, what is morality about? Morality is about well-being, the well-being of others and yourself. That's the subject matter of morality. So, we know that metaphors are formed early in life when you have two parts of the brain that are active together. So when are these parts of the brain that have to do with satisfaction, that is well-being, and ill-being, what do they correspond to? Let me give you examples. You eat pure food, you feel satisfied. You eat rotten food, you feel disgusted, right? Morality is purity, immorality is rottenness. That was a rotten thing to do. There's something rotten in the state of Denmark, etc., right? Purification rituals exist around the world, right? Very simple correlation between eating pure versus rotten food and satisfaction and dissatisfaction, and you've learned neural pathways, metaphor, linking those. Okay? Any one-year-old will tell you that it's better to be able to stand up and walk than to have to crawl on the ground. Right? There's a point at which kids just, are able to begin to do that, and boy, are they happy to be able to begin to do that. Now, so we have a metaphor. Morality is uprightness. Immorality is being low down. He's a low down snake. That was underhanded. Take the moral high ground, etc. Okay? So we have that metaphor. We have others. One of the most pervasive ones is based on the fact that you're better off if you have all the things you need than if you don't, right? So you're better off if you have, food and a place to stay and all those nice things that you need. And that correlates with satisfaction, and if you don't have them, lack of satisfaction. So that gives rise to the metaphor that well-being is wealth. Well, you put that together with accounting systems, and you get what is called moral accounting around the world in many, many cultures. How does it work? Suppose I do you a favor. Okay? You say, I owe you one. I'm in your debt. It's as if I gave you money. How can I repay you? Okay. Now, suppose I do something bad to you. How do the books get balanced? Well, I can make up for it, restitution. You can do something bad back to me, retribution. Or you can take something good away from me, revenge, via moral arithmetic. Or you can forgive the debt. Forgive us our debts, etc. Okay? That is, moral accounting is used in many of these forms, different forms in different cultures around the world. Okay? Now, there are two particularly important ones for politics in the US and in Canada and in Europe and so on. One of them comes from the fact that you're better off in general if you listen to your parents than if you don't, assuming that they're there to help you when you're a baby. Okay? So that gives rise to a metaphor that morality is obedience. There's another metaphor that comes about. You're better off if your parents nurture you than if you don't, which gives rise to the metaphor that morality is nurturance. Okay? Focusing on different aspects of what's happening in that situation. Right? Those two metaphors turn out to be crucial in conservative and progressive politics. And they're crucial because of another basic fact. think about when you are first governed. When are you first governed? Hmm? Yeah, in your family. Right, in your mother, right? Exactly. Your parents tell you what to do, right? That's when you're first governed. So you have an experience of your family members, and you have an experience of being governed, of being told what to do, and what you can and can't do. Okay? That gives rise to a metaphor that a governing institution is a family. And that governing institution could be a tribe, it could be a community, it could be a school, it could be a religion, it can be a company, and it can be a state, a nation. Right? And the idea that a nation is a family occurs around the world, as in Mother India, Mother Russia, the fatherland, etc. And in the US, it's pervasive. But there are two different kinds of families in the US and in many other cultures. A strict father family, where morality is obedience, a nurturant parent family, where morality is nurturance. And they form the basis of conservative and progressive politics. And I can go through, I have a book, if you want to read about this in real detail, there's a book called Moral Politics, which is 500 pages of the details. Sorry, but you can actually get, it's not hard to read, it's just 500 pages. I mean, it's fun, it's easy, but 500 pages. All right. Some books are long and some are short. Now, the political mind goes through this in less than 500 pages. Now, the idea here is that you think in terms of these systems. There are conservative systems. Let me give you an example of what it means to have a strict father morality. By the way, strict father morality is taught in the U.S. in a very important way. There is a system of conservative child rearing in the U.S. And the biggest part of this is an institution called Focus on the Family, run by James Dobson. Dobson is on more radio stations than anyone in America, has a column in more newspapers than anyone, has so many people writing for his stuff that he needs his own zip code. He's an arch conservative, minister, and he employs so many people that he has his own freeway entrance in Colorado. And this is a big deal, right? Very big enterprise. And what he says is this: you need a strict father because he has to protect the family. Mommy can't do it. This is, by the way, not a gay family. It's got to have a daddy and a mommy, right? You need a strict father because he's got to win those battles in the world and support the family. Mommy can't do it, right? You need a strict father because kids are born bad. What does bad mean? It means they don't know right from wrong. They just do what feels good. Have you ever heard the expression feel-good liberalism? Yeah. Right? That's what that's about. It means these liberals haven't learned right from wrong. How do you learn right from wrong in a strict father family? Punishment when you do wrong. And Dobson is clear. The punishment must be painful enough. It must be painful so that you will not do wrong and decide to do right to avoid the pain. Because that's the only way you ever learn to become a moral person, according to him, and according to strict father morality, which is why you get a lot of punitive and why you have a lot of punishment from conservatives. Now, in addition to that, there's a wonderful thing, Dobson says, if you learn the discipline you learn to discipline yourself to do right and not wrong, because you can take that discipline into the free market and become prosperous. You apply it to financial discipline. And what does that mean if you're not prosperous? It means you're not disciplined, which means you can't be moral, so you deserve your poverty. Ever heard that? Okay. Now, what is the strict father in the family? The strict father is the decider.